Hi, this is Karen Flaherty from Living by Human Design, and this is a video about the energy center called the Ajna. The Ajna is spelled A-J-N-A, and this is the green triangle pointing down on your chart if you have it colored in. So the Ajna is the center for concrete thinking, analysis, data processing, data storage, and conceptualization. It's the place where we think about and store data and where you form opinions. And the inspiration of the head center from up above, that yellow triangle, is always putting pressure on the Ajna to conceptualize. So the Ajna is also where you experience mental anxiety, and it's the place where we fill our mind with a lot of shoulds. I should do this, I should do that, all of that. That's all up in the Ajna center, and for everyone, whether it's colored in or defined, those things happen. Now, if we look at the Ajna center that's colored in, that's the defined Ajna. That's about 50% of the population. And so as a person with a defined Ajna, you have a fixed and reliable thinking process. You're constantly processing, analyzing, comparing, organizing data. There's really quite a bit of action going on up there. And as a result, your mind is always chatting to you. It really can't be turned off. And what I suggest to people, if they're trying to meditate with defined Ajna, actually I suggest laying down, or at least to start the meditation process or the practice, so that you can actually turn your Ajna off. That's the only time it turns off, is when you're lying down, either to sleep on at the end of yoga, for example, or on a massage table. Those are the only times that the Ajna will turn off, is when you're laying down. So with the defined Ajna, you are good at research, and you can organize information so that it can be communicated. You're actually designed to be certain, and you can hold on to a fixed idea or belief. You can actually be even quite adamant about it. It does make us a little stubborn sometimes when you have the defined Ajna. But other people, in fact, might perceive you as a little stubborn or rigid. But you're really designed to be certain. It's correct for you to be certain. Just be aware of being so rigid in your thinking that you're not open to the ideas and concepts of others. Now, you can imagine when two defined Ajnas come together, there might be some butting of heads. So it's important for you to realize that there's more than one way to do things, especially around the house or at your office, that there's more than one way to fold towels or make the bed or fill the dishwasher. And a defined Ajna is great for data storage because information comes in, it gets processed, and it gets stored for future reference. So the defined Ajna in a healthy state is where you use your mind as a data processing center and for creative thinking, and you also use your mind as an outer authority to offer ideas to others. Now, for the open Ajna, which is also about 50% of humanity, you are designed to have an open and flexible mind. You're really not designed to get attached to any particular way of thinking or set of beliefs, and you're open to pondering the mental field in unlimited ways. So it makes you very good at thinking outside the box because you're able to look at things from many, many different points of view. You're really not tied to any particular idea or belief. You're quite open to having different points of view and different ways of thinking about them. So often people with an open head and Ajna, because the two will go together, anyone who has an open Ajna will definitely have an open head. That's just the way everything's configured in the chart. And so the open head and open Ajna together is still about 50% of the population. There's quite a few people with open head and Ajna. So please, there's nothing wrong with having an open head and Ajna. But often people with the open head and Ajna will feel like there's something wrong with them, or the way in which they conceptualize, because usually it's difficult for you to hold on to anything or to think in a fixed and specific way. So again, there is nothing wrong with this, but it is your way of thinking. So in your life experience, a lot of people with the open Ajna compare themselves to other people because they think that those people who are or can be certain about other things are more intelligent, or at least they appear to be intelligent. In fact, they could be completely wrong about their ideas. A lot of times they are, in fact. Just because you have a defined Ajna doesn't make you right. And that's been my experience. I have a defined Ajna, and there's nothing worse than having a defined Ajna and being wrong. So people with the open Ajna do compare themselves to those people with the defined ajna, and they think that the people with the defined ajna are right or intelligent, or they seem to be more certain, and that's okay. They are more certain. They do have more certain ideas, and they do play a role, but you're playing the role of having an open ajna, an open and flexible mind, and that serves as much of a purpose in life as the people with the defined ajna. So in their life experiences, a lot of people with the open ajna compare themselves to other people, and they develop the conditioned belief or even a fear that they need to be certain about things in order to appear intelligent. So for the open ajna, you can definitely get into discussions with them. They don't necessarily have the market on being right. You can just as easily come in with the open and flexible mind and present a different opinion. The open ajna also acts like a sponge. It's almost like you're absorbing whatever is going on in the environment, and you might find it extremely challenging to carry on a conversation with one person while the TV's, for example, blaring in the background, or you can hear activity coming from the next room, or there's a cell phone ringing. Any of that can distract the open ajna, and that's okay. If you do need to have a quiet conversation, I'd suggest going to a private room so that you can have that important conversation. You can imagine with the open head and ajna, the current educational system is not very user-friendly for the open ajna student. You have probably found a learning style that works for you. Hopefully you either discovered it yourself or had the assistance of a kind either parent or teacher or someone in your background who was able to help you with your learning style if you couldn't find it yourself. Most people with the open ajna do find it themselves. And so when they find that, then they do very well in school. But before that, it can be a challenge. And the challenge is that a lot of memorization occurs in a lot of educational systems, and the memorization does not suit the open ajna. So if you've ever been made to feel as if you were not up to par or weren't quite up to speed with the other kids, this is why. It's because you don't have a fixed way of thinking or processing data, and the fact that there's anything wrong is just a limiting belief, and you should let that go, because there is nothing wrong. This is exactly how you should be thinking. It's not true, and it doesn't serve you to have that limiting belief. And in fact, for a lot of kids, it's what keeps them from reaching their highest potential. And just remember that you are designed to hold on to a fixed belief or concept. You're really designed to look at and explore things from many different perspectives, and that's really a true gift. So cherish it. So the open ajna in a healthy state is where you're able to take in and sift through the mental field to find what truly matters, that you accept and enjoy that your mind operates in an inconsistent way, and that you can think outside the box, and also that you'll use your mind like a playground where you explore the mental field. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.